Welcome in Chinatown in Amsterdam. We will join a seminar in the Hewa Temple about the prejudice of Chinese communities. The title is Nothing as Deep as the Unspoken. Here we are at the entrance of Chinatown. The first Chinese immigrants came here in the Netherlands in the beginning of 1900. Actually, the Chinese people were one of the first immigrants in the Netherlands. Here in the Hewa Temple, the seminar Nothing as Deep as Unspoken will be held. The seminar will be about prejudice of Chinese immigrants. After the presentation, there will be a panel discussion of people in the Chinese community.
My story concerning the Chinese overseas community does not start in the Netherlands. It starts in the Western world, and it will take you on sort of a strange journey from east to west to show you how stereotypes simultaneously evolve along various lines. And what led from the opium import was the first stereotype ever to exist about Chinese people, which is that they were fervent opium smokers. In the United States, in the beginning, at first, there was a sort of a positive image about the Chinese, but of course it was not really positive, because it turned out that the Chinese were there temporarily living within their old culture, but the general idea was that they would not keep that old culture up long, and of course, here you can see they are working in the factories. In the end, of course, the meaning is that they all have to become Christianized and leave their old culture behind. The number of Chinese living in the Netherlands around 1900, it was not a lot. And they basically came from Indonesia. They were usually students who studied here in the Netherlands. And not many people knew about it. Their numbers were quite small. Also in Amsterdam, I think there were no more than somewhere between 17 and 23 people.
That is correct.
Professor Hugh Yan arrives on Flight 9 from the Orient. He is suffering from a rare disease, and only you will be able to save his life. Do you understand?
In modern day times, I'm very sorry to say that many of the stereotypes are political. Actually, they are focused towards China as a dictatorial society, or as human rights issues that come up very frequently. And that is quite difficult, because also within the human rights issues you see many stereotypes and many prejudice about Chinese society as a whole.
I think the political relation with the Dutch government has always been very difficult, because of the political system that is still in China in charge. And although it's different from what it used to be in, let's say, for 20 years ago and before that, and also because of the relationship with the Iron Wall getting down and everything, so, and let's say the open economic policy of China, so things are different now.
Say something about positive thing about Chinese contribution, because I think there are a lot.
The positive contribution of China to the Netherlands is actually well known here in the Netherlands, because about 1 or 2 years ago the Economics Bureau of the Netherlands made an analysis of that, and it turned out that because of the booming Chinese economy, 23,000 jobs have been created for Dutch peoples. This question is the Chinese community here in the Netherlands a closed community. Actually, I think in itself is a prejudice.
The Chinese investment in the Dutch economy, and I think maybe that's the only thing where people at first will think, well, I don't want to work for a Chinese firm or a Chinese-owned firm. I can hardly believe that in the future But I mean, at first, people always react in a negative way. It's part of the Dutch culture, I would always say.
So it's not only about to show China it's doing very well. Actually, I told people that's not true China. If you go to Beijing or you go to Shanghai, you see, wow, is this China?
Like, they always ask me if my parents got a restaurant. They say, wow, you speak very excellent Dutch. How come?
And the freedom of choice here in Holland is a very, very, I think, important asset for all the Chinese here in Holland. They have to realize they have the choice. You have to make the choice. If you don't make the choice, you will never reach anything.
Last 10 years, China attract a lot of attention to Western countries, of course, also including Netherlands. So, yeah, we hear more and more positive feedback from Dutch people. Oh, China is doing very good. How is your business? Your business will be, I guess, will be also getting better.
I think all over the world, Chinese people are regarded with much more respect now. Because, well, in the past it was regarded as quite a closed community, so other people didn't really know about what was going on in that society, and or part of sort of a community inside society. And now I think they're much more open, so I think that also has the effect that we regard Chinese people as much more positive than we used to.
I met the stereotypes, like everybody was asking, do you have, your parents have a Chinese restaurant? The stereotype, like when I grew up, Bruce Lee was very hot, all the movies. When you walk around at the street, everybody yells, hey, Bruce Lee, like that. And they're doing like the kung fu moves and everything. And also like that Chinese people are always, how do you say it, obedient. They never tell what they think. That kind of stereotypes. And actually, now I'm older, I still hear those stereotypes. So I'm wondering if those stereotypes have gone.
The best way to solve stereotypes is, for instance, using meetings like this to get a cross-cultural understanding and also to get a cross-cultural open discussion about the whole phenomena. And I think that we've accomplished part of that today, at least within the group that was present here. And I hope that in the future this will become sort of an oil spot, which sort of spreads out little by little, with future lectures actually to more topics that are interesting to both the Chinese and Dutch community, and actually to have a sort of a discussional meetings going. And I think that that is the best way actually to deal with stereotypes. Yes.